Hey, I am back. I just want to share with you guys this video I received yesterday at early in the morning. It was posted by a lady who is inside of my prayer group. It's about she's interviewing this father who is being right now who's being restrained by the court system from even speaking out against what he's currently going through. So to keep a long story short, the video is basically about him speaking about the court system removing his parental will for him to not allow his daughter to go through a cross-sex hormone. And as I was listening to it early in the morning, because the Lord led me to it, I was just sitting down doing my nails, and I saw some messages inside my prayer group. I decided to click on it, and I went and I saw this video. I've seen it before, I've read up on it, but I didn't know the inside of what was going on. I just knew it's unrighteous. I knew, the details that they would put inside the news, but they were restricting the father or any sort of public information from leaking out. But I admire this father's courage to stand up for his child, to stand up for his parental rights to parent his child. And I just want to tell you how much we are in the end times, because it amazes me to see that the government or the court system believe that they can come within your parental right and override your right as a parent, as the one that grew up your child, as the one that nurtured your child, as the one that took care of all of those financial needs, emotional needs. And now they can just come in and override your decision to stop or prohibit your child from going through such a life-changing event. And this child is a minor. It's so sad to me because the Spirit of the Lord was just so grieved on the inside of me. It's so grieving because all of it is a bunch of lies, guys. And I want you to really watch this video. I want even those who are not Christians, I want you to watch this, because you don't have to be a Christian to know right from wrong. You don't have to be a Christian to be morally sound. And this thing with the LGBTQ, they are just confusing society. They are confusing terms and words to get you emotionally confused, because they are trying to push their agenda on people like me and you so that we can give in, we can cave in to their social agenda, to things that are not right, to things that are not in natural order. You don't even have to believe in God, but there are things that are just so absurd, so far away from the truth, and one of them is cross-sex hormones. And the thing is, he went on, I'm just touching a little bit on the video because I want you to watch it yourself, but he touched on the fact that he was given this contract to sign, or this letter to sign, that says, he's given his consent for his daughter to go through this. And inside of it, he reads, and he says that inside of it, it says that, here are all the risk factors that could potentially harm your daughter, such as having heart disease, having stunt growth, and it was just these, I cannot recall all of them, but it was just these lists of things that could harm her. But all of this is okay as long as as long as we give her these hormones that allow her to feel or be illusioned that she is a man. And it is so sad because we are now, we have become so dull and so cold to the things that are true. We have become far-fetched from things that are just sensible, that just have common sense. I mean, so what if your child feels like, oh, I feel like I want to be a man, I feel like I want to be a girl, I don't feel like I'm in the right body. But they are children. No one has the right to experiment on a human being. You're not experimenting on some non-living object. You're experimenting on the life of a person. You have people who are now destroying the lives of children. And it is so sad. It is sad. It is the work of the devil. It is the work of the enemy to destroy the next generation, to confuse them. And then you have people who are LGBTQ activists who are there helping to destroy these young lives. You are an adult, like Laurelyn said. You are an adult. You choose whatever you want to do. But when you decide now to step into the domain of trying to convince, influence a child, a minor, that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. And see, we have to take a stand. Like I said, you don't even have to be a Christian, but there are things that are just morally sound, and there are things that are just right and just that you stand behind. It doesn't make sense. One day, your child sometimes decide they don't like their favorite food all of a sudden. What if one day your child said, today I feel like I want to be a horse. I want to be an animal. Do we now go to the doctor and say, okay, my child wants to be an animal, so can we do some cross-sex experimentation to make my child an animal? No. Sometimes children go through stages where they feel very depressed, suicidal. In those events, does the court system override the parent and say, okay, the child is suicidal, let's now activate I forget what the word called, euthanasia. Do I mean, when the children feel suicidal, do they just put the child to sleep? No, they treat it because there's something psychologically wrong, and that is what they are trying to push aside. That is what they are trying to sweep under the rug. They don't want to admit that it's psychologically wrong, and that's how you know this world is demonic. That is how you know that these people who are working in law firms inside these doctors' offices, who are carrying out these experiments on kids, these are the same people who are advocates for abortion. Listen, people, the trend stays the same. The same people that affirm abortion are the same people who are trying to experiment on our kids to tell them and affirm them that yes, you are female, and if you feel like a male, then we can just stud your growth. That means things that means that what makes you grow into a beautiful woman, those those hormones are now studied, and it sterilizes you for women. It sterilizes you, and also for men, it sterilizes you, and you can now physically look like a man, but you will always be a woman, because as the father went on to say, he said that inside the writing, it said that we cannot change your DNA, we cannot change your chromosomes. So what does that tell me? What does that tell the person who has common sense? What does that tell you? That tells you that they are saying you will always be the biological sex that you are. They cannot change that, no matter how much facial hair you grow, no matter how much you change your voice, no matter how much your voice deepen, no matter how much you start the growth of your genitalia, you will always be what God has created you to be. And that is why the word of God says all these things in this world will pass away, but his word stands. You will always be, if you are a male, you will always be a male. If you are a female, you will always be a female. See, but we are in the times where people have grown more in the love of money, as the word of God says. They love money, they love themselves. Children are becoming rude, cold-hearted, very disrespectful to their parents, and this is what the word of God says. See, but we are now coming away. We are forsaking the word of God because we call it ancient. People, I want you to read and look for yourselves. Do not allow this to creep up on you, because it's not happening to you. And really, I'm really striking this to the Christians to wake up. It's an alarm. Not because it's not happening in your backyard, not because it's not your kid who's being affected, or your kid who's going to a Christian school surrounded by Christian influences. No, that is selfish. We are called to stand up for righteousness, whether it's in your backyard or not, whether you're in the same country or not. It is affecting all of us, because one day there's going to be grounds and more grounds that the LGBTQ is taking, and the territory that they're taking, and we are going to have less and less grounds and less room to speak out. And if we don't speak out, it's going to become worse. So I want you to look and just listen to this video. Listen to the heart of this father. And like I said, I commend his courage. I commend what he's doing, because no one has the right to strip a parent off of their right to parent and nurture their child. No one has that right, because no one can come to you and help you or tell you that no, you don't do this to your child, you don't parent your child like this, you don't grow up your child like this. What happened to freedom of speech? And it's sad because there's so many contradictory ones. They're thinking they're helping the world to become this liberal place, but it's not, because you are limiting one group of people, all for a small group of people to have their way. That shouldn't be. So I want you to watch this video and just share this video, because this is serious, guys. This is serious. It grieves my heart, because it grieves the spirit of the Lord. And this is where our world is coming to, guys. And just keep abreast of just the news and the things that are going on around us. The Bible is being fulfilled. The Bible is being fulfilled. Christ is soon to come, and we have to take a stand. We have to take a stand, because this is it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous of how we are being forced to to we're being forced to control ourselves to accept this garbage. It's garbage. It doesn't make sense. It never will make sense. So guys, the link will be inside my bio. I love you, and God bless you.